What's going on, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to the second episode of Frankie the Yankee Show. I told you guys yesterday that my show is going to be based on baseball, but not just Yankee related. It's called Frankie the Yankee Show because it's my show, my personal show, and that's who I am, Frankie the Yankee, baby. With me today are two very special guests, dear to me. My brother from another mother, my unscripted bro, Jay McLovin, Houston Astros favorite fan right there. How you doing, Jay?
I was doing not so good yesterday up until the point where we kicked the crap out of the Rangers. And then I was doing excellent day. And I'm doing excellent day today. 2 games back. 2 games. We're going to get into that. 2 games, baby. 2 games. By the way, Melanie, my wife, thank God for you. Thank you. I'm doing great, though. Doing great, Frank.
And our second guest today, who I haven't seen on live stream in a very long time, so he's making his return to the camera. Our guy Dustin, aka Stag Guy. What's going on, Stag Guy? By the way, Stag Guy is Chicago Cubs fan, native right there. Big Chicago Cub fan, and I just want to say, Stag Guy, you're doing really wonderful with what you've been doing lately with your articles and stuff like that. For those of you who are watching, Dustin has been posting articles for us on Unscripted, and you guys haven't checked it out yet. Please go to the Unscripted Facebook page and check it out. Dustin makes one of the best articles that you can ever read. Dustin, how you doing, brother?
Thanks for the kind words there, Frankie, and doing well. Doing well at least for the next 6 days. We'll find out how well I'm doing after this week in terms of where my baseball team is sitting.
Yeah, hey, I do want to reiterate, though, or just to say what Frankie said, man. Dustin, man, you're putting out great articles, man. Great stuff, great content. And by the way, you can catch Dustin as he starts to do our Threads account. He's going to be doing some good stuff on Threads. So, good times.
Yeah, so let's start it off, boys. I don't want to talk so much on the Yankees. I did a little bit of that yesterday. I just want to touch up a little bit on the Yankees, and we'll change it. We'll talk a little bit of Astros. We'll talk a little bit of Cubs. We're gonna mention some Shohei Ohtani today. I didn't get to do that yesterday, so we'll talk a little bit of Shohei Ohtani. And then if we have time, we'll be talking about a little bit of a trade deadline discussion on what team should make trades and who should they make trades for. So we'll get to that. But to start it off, tonight does start the Subway Series between the New York Yankees and the New York Mets. Game 1, and we got Game 2 tomorrow. The Yankees are sitting at 53 and 47, facing the Mets, who are 46 and 53. Tonight on the mound, you got Domingo Germán, who's 5-6 for the Yankees with an ERA of 4.52. Total 74 hits with 101 strikeouts, 31 walks, gave up 17 home runs. He's going up against Jay's very own best friend, former best friend, shall I say, and Justin Verlander, who's 4-5 with an ERA of a 3.47. Let that sink in while I keep going for a minute, because this is a man who's a defending World Series champion with the Astros, and I know Jay will touch up on Justin Verlander in a minute. He has more on that than I do, but let that sink in. A 3.47 ERA for Justin Verlander. He's given up 70 hits. He gave 70 strikeouts with 26 walks, and he gave up 4 home runs on the season. The New York Mets are favored by -125. They have a 52.1% chance to win, while the Yankees have 47.9 chance to win. And I'm just going to quickly start off. This is absolutely mind-blowing to me that the Mets are favored to win this game, and I think the reason for it is probably because of Justin Verlander with his ERA compared to Domingo Germán's ERA. But I do think I give my boys a really solid chance here to win. For one, we're at home. We love to play the Mets at home. And I do feel that as of late, the Yankees have been getting more hits. And now that they're getting more hits, I feel like they're going to be smart enough now to score more runs. I did say yesterday we had the weekend against the Kansas City Royals. It wasn't nothing to get real excited for. It's the Kansas City Royals. So I like the fact that they were getting hits and they were getting scores. But now that we're going up against the Mets and we have a really tough schedule coming up, if the Yankees can continue doing what they were doing against Kansas City and bringing it to the Mets tonight, I have a really strong chance that a really strong feeling that the Yankees can win tonight. Jay?
Yeah, I think the reason why they got a slight favorite, I think it's like 50%. I think you're 47%. Um, it's just because I think Hermingo doesn't have his stickum on.
I like that. I like that. You must be still drunk from last night. I like that they did that.
If he's got that little jalapeno up on his left shoulder where he can, or out of his or whatever, and he's, I think we're looking at about 54% Yankees. So I'm not saying that Domingo's going to go out there and load up the baseballs, but if he's loading up the baseballs, I think we're like, no. Hey, look, here's the deal. At the end of the day, man, Verlander, like you said, is atrocious. That's why, and we're going to talk about this on Unscripted tonight, so I'm not going to go too far into it, but I am going to mention it. That's why that Scherzer and Verlander are actually, quote unquote, in the trade rumors up on the trade block, or they're definitely available. You can talk to them about it because they're both on short-term contracts. So don't think that just because you see Verlander in a Mets uniform now, that he's going to be in a Mets uniform, in a couple of days or even a week from now. So at that, what I'm trying to say is the Yankees, they should be looked at pretty seriously. Now, let's not look past Lindor. Let's not look past Tommy Pham. Let's not look past some of the other guys that they do have. But this Mets team isn't the Mets team, quote unquote, that we were supposed to get. We got some kind of alternate universe Mets team. Now the Yankees, they got, like you said, Frankie, as you said it yesterday in your podcast. This Yankees team isn't producing offensively like they should either, but they are producing on the pitching side. So I had a friend of mine say, look, if you average 3 runs, if you can just average 3 runs a game, you should win 90% of your games. So think about it. If you got the pitching and you just get your guys to produce 3 runs, you should be able to beat the Mets. You just got to get 3 runs.
Or more. And I think we can.
Or more.
And I think we can. The lineup hasn't came out just yet. I need to see what the lineup is going to look like. The game is at 7:05 and it's right now 12:10 afternoon Eastern time. So the lineup hasn't came up yet. And once that comes up, I can be able to look at it and see. And I love how you brought up Francisco Lindor and all these other players, and the one person you didn't bring up was Pete Alonso. Thank you. That just shows so much how Pete Alonso has been showing up this year. Stat Guy, can you give some thoughts on the Subway Series?
The Subway Series is always one of the best interleague series throughout Major League Baseball, much like the Freeway Series, much like the Crosstown Classic between the Cubs and the White Sox, just because you have 2 teams in the same city with 2 hated fan bases. Like the Mets hate the Yankees, so the Yankees hate the Mets. It's just the way it's supposed to be. I do think the advantage goes to the Mets today just because of Justin Verlander, mainly because Verlander's seen the Yankees so much in his career. The guy's 9-7 with a 3.37 ERA in his career against the Yankees, has 144 strikeouts in 24 career games against the Yankees. He's 5-3 against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, and he's 4-0 against them in the playoffs. So Justin Verlander is no stranger to facing the Yankees versus Domingo Germán hasn't been in the league nearly as long as Justin Verlander has. So that's kind of why I think the Mets are the favorites tonight, just because Verlander knows pretty much everybody in this Yankees lineup from the top to the bottom, being as long as he's been in the American League for. But the game that I'm curious about is the matchup between Jose Quintana and Carlos Rodon tomorrow. You had 2 pitchers that were injured pretty much the entire season. Rodon's made, I think, 3 or 4 starts since coming off the IL. Quintana made his first start since coming off the IL last weekend against the White Sox. You have Quintana 3-2 with a 2.97 ERA in his career against the Yankees. You have Carlos Rodon 3-1 with a 2.64 ERA in his career against the Mets. Something's got to give between one of those 2 guys, and neither one of them has looked sharp since they've returned from the IL. I would say that Quintana looked actually a lot better than I expected him to look in his first start, but I think a lot of people are expecting a lot more from Rodon at this point, which we haven't seen yet. But this is one of those series. You have a Yankees team that is, in my opinion, underachieving. I don't know how you feel about that, Frankie, but I think the Yankees are definitely underachieving from where a lot of people expected them to be. But then you also have the Mets, who are arguably the most disappointing team in Major League Baseball this year. And I think they split the 2-game set this time, and I think they split the 2-game set when they go to Flushings later in the year.
I do want to point out, and Frankie will tell you this, though, Dustin, boy Rizzo, he had a 4-game hit yesterday. Let's not forget Rizzo could be back. He could be the old Rizzo that we remember from your days at the Cubs. This could be the
Rizzo's not coming back.
Cubs version of Rizzo. Okay, so let's not look past Anthony Rizzo right now. Okay, because Anthony, I don't know what he did, but whatever he did, he found that magic juice. Okay, so let's not look past Rizzo. And yes, Pete Alonso, I did look past this. The only time I ever talk about Pete Alonso is it's a home run derby. That's all it's good for is a home run derby. Outside of that, we don't give a damn about no damn Pete freaking Alonso.
I love to hear it. But that's going to happen tonight, and I don't want to get too much onto it. Thank you for giving me your thoughts on tomorrow, Dustin. You just canceled my show for tomorrow because now I have nothing to talk about. I'm just joking. I'll have enough to talk about. I'm just joking. But let's get to it, Jay. I want to get to your team, the Houston Astros, right now in the wild card. This is the defending World Series champion. They're right under the Tampa Bay Rays and second in the wild card race. And you just said at the start of the show, they're 2 games behind the Texas Rangers, who actually they just beat yesterday at a final score, a really close one, 10-9. And I got to give it to your boy McCormick, man. He showed up yesterday. I seen it. He showed up really big. But this is your squad. I hate the Astros. But for you, I will let you go ahead and say whatever you got to say here on my show, Frankie the Yankee Show. Go ahead. It's your Astros, man.
Lock. Do I need to say anything more than that? B-Lock, baby. B-Lock. Our rookie, our guy from nowhere. Nobody knew Brandon B-Lock. Nobody. Not even me. I even let Stat Guy make me doubt my own team. Stat Guy, you did good. You made me doubt my team. Stat Guy. You came out and you made some good points. You talked about the Rangers' offense, and yes, they do got an offense, and yes, they went out and got a pitching staff, and yes, they went out and got Brandon Bochy. And then you told me, Jay, your Astros aren't going to do it this year. It's going to be all Texas Rangers. You're not going to do it this. But you know what? Last time I checked, Stat Guy, you were wrong. Because we took out the Rangers last series, and we won last series against the Rangers. We won last night 10-9 with a rookie pitcher on the mound that nobody thought could do a damn thing. I'm trying to tell you, you forgot about Chaz McCormick. You forgot about Justin Tucker. You wrote off Jose Abreu into the dirt, and we looked at Bregman as yesterday's news. But they're back. And the Astros are on the cusp of taking back the division and crowning ourselves where we rightfully belong, where Frankie Cruz Jr. wants to be, where you thought the Cubs and Mike Hughes only dreamt about.
Who's Mike Hughes?
Don't worry about it. Frankie knows. Other people know. We are in a position now. If Montero, who I call the missing link, if Montero can just recapture what he had last season before we get to October, which I really believe he's on track to do, it's game over. Alvarez is coming back. But have we really, truly missed him? No. Have we really missed Alvarez or a golden nugget? No, we haven't, because we're 2 games back. And we're playing the best team, arguably, in the AL. I'm sorry. If you don't think the Rangers are, quote unquote, the best team in the AL right now, it's not Baltimore. Although Baltimore is nice. Tampa Bay, looking okay. It's the Rangers. The Rangers are quote unquote arguably the best team in the AL, maybe even the best team in baseball. In baseball. And we're 2 games back, baby. 2 games. And if you haven't been paying attention, Dubon, I didn't even talk about Dubon in his 285. That's a whole nother secret sauce. Because, that's right, Frankie, where's the buzzer beater? Where's Altuve? Nobody talking about no damn Altuve. We're not talking about Altuve. You know why? Because we don't need Altuve. We got freaking Dubon. Marciano. Volpe. You talking about Volpe over there with the Yankees? Volpe? I give a damn no goddamn Volpe. You know why? Because we got Jeremy Pena.
Who's that again?
You know who I'm talking about, Frankie. You know Jeremy.
Worry.
You know, we're not. Hey, that's a whole nother conversation we're not ready for in Jeremy Pena. I'm just saying. I'm gonna wrap it up with this. I'm gonna wrap it up with this. We do got you guys next month. The Astros
next week.
Oh, that's right, next week. Well, okay, next week. Hey, watch it. Next week is next month.
That's true. That is true.
Let's go. I'm just trying to say, after the Rangers, we move right into New York. Or actually, New York comes to Houston. I may be at that game. I'm trying to convince Melanie that be my early birthday present.
No, we're home first.
Are you sure? Are we going to New York?
Yeah.
I don't know if I might be able to get the game ticket. I don't know if I can get the airfare.
Get the game ticket. Send it to me.
Man, I know, right? Hey, ole, 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 ole.
Listen, I was being nice, and I was letting you talk some Astros on this show. This is a Yankee show.
It is.
Right? This is Frankie the Yankee show, and I was being nice and letting you talk. But then you went off the rail of your train track and started talking about Volpe. Listen,
I did.
Listen, sir. You're gonna find out who Volpe is come next week / next month. Okay, don't you worry.
Hey, I was hoping to give me a little latitude on that. So,
but Anthony Price does have a good saying here that the Rangers. He's saying that the Rangers are the best, but the Orioles got a better record.
That's fine.
And it's true, honestly. And the Orioles are playing really good baseball right now. Now, if the Texas Rangers would have never lost Jacob deGrom, I'll say possibly maybe they would be better than what they are. I feel like both them and the Rays have slipped a little bit before the All-Star break. But you guys are 2 games behind. It's that guy. How's your Chicago Cubs doing down there in Chicago, sir?
Well, I mean, we're 3 games under, but we're still only 5 games back in the wild card, so we're not dead yet. And we're fortunate enough that the NL Central is not a great division, so we're not dead yet there either. The next 6 games that we have 2 against the White Sox today and tomorrow, which we should win both, but I highly doubt they will because they always split anyways. And then they have 4 more games against the Cardinals this weekend where they just went 3-1 with the Cardinals this past weekend at Wrigley. So if the Cubs can go 4-2 and put themselves 1 game under heading into the trade deadline, I don't see a feasible way where they can be sellers because they will be within 4 games of that wild card. And we've seen teams make up double-digit leads in the wild card before in the second half. We've seen teams make up double-digit leads in the division in the second half and win that division the final week of the season. So being 4 games out at the trade deadline, especially for a team that was, 13, 14 games under a couple months ago, and now they're starting to kind of play the way they did that first month of the season when they were in first place in the NL Central. The team is not going to scare anybody, but they do have pieces that scare people, including Cody Bellinger right now, who might be the hottest hitter on the planet.
I know.
So as a Yankee fan, you're hoping the Cubs go 1-5 over the next 6 games so you can have Cody Bellinger, because if they are in a position to buy, not only do I think they hold on to Cody Bellinger, I'm not going to be surprised if they extend Cody Bellinger next year and just tell him to move to first base.
I really hope y'all can play good and still give us Cody Bellinger. That's the number 1 guy on my list. Really, he really is. It goes Cody Bellinger, Shohei Ohtani, and then Juan Soto. And Anthony Price, I put this up here just for kindness. I'm not rude like Jay. But you're saying the Orioles might get Shohei Ohtani. Get that out of here. All right, no. When you're playing this well, there's no way in hell that you guys are gonna go ahead and go get Shohei Ohtani. No, stop that.
Because what are they going to have to do to get him? What are they going to have to break up off that team?
Exactly.
People don't understand that. People don't understand that. They want him so bad, but it's going to come at a price. And will that price be more than what you think you want to give up? I'm telling you right now, I don't need no damn Shohei. I don't need Shohei. I don't need him. I don't need him. And I'll be honest with you, Frankie, I don't think you need him either. I think what you'd have to give up to get Shohei is going to be more than what the Yankees could ever come back from, honestly, because you're going to have to give up some major pieces. And trust me, most of your players outside of Judge, aren't worth a damn. I hate to tell you that. Rizzo, I'll give Rizzo. Maybe Rizzo, but the rest of them, you're going to have to give up a lot. And I don't think you can come back from a Shohei Ohtani type trade. I don't think you can do it. I don't think Dustin's Cubs can do it.
We're not going to trade.
I mean, you have to have one hell of a farm system to really compete for Shohei Ohtani. And let's be honest, Frankie, the Yankees have never had a farm system that can give what they want. To give what they want, to get the talent. Because look, you guys have never drafted high enough. Truth, no, you haven't.
No, that's the thing. That's why the Baltimore Orioles right now are the favorites to get Shohei. Because
and I agree with that. I agree. And don't look past Cleveland. Cleveland's got a lot of pieces over there too.
The Angels aren't looking for necessarily a big major league package in return for Shohei. What they're looking for is a lot of young and controllable pieces to kind of rebuild up their farm system. And look at the Orioles farm system. They got Jackson Holliday, Grayson Rodriguez, Colton Cowser, Jordan Westbrook, Joey Ortiz, Heston Kierstead, DL Hall, and Kobe Mayo are the Orioles' top 8 prospects. All of them are considered Tier 1 prospects. And when you look at most franchises, you're lucky to have 3 Tier 1 prospects in your own farm system, and the Orioles have 8. That's what the Angels are going to focus on when they trade Ohtani. Yes, they're going to want a couple major league pieces in return, but that's not going to be like star players coming back their way. Like it's not going to be like an Adley Rutschman or a Gunnar Henderson or an Austin Hayes or things like that. They might get a couple reserve players on the Orioles that aren't playing that much right now. Their focus is the farm system. They want to get as much young and controllable pieces as they can to kind of build that team around Mike Trout one last time and keep Trout there as long as possible.
And then whoever, even after they give up all of that, that team has got to be willing to give up $600 million to sign him, because he's not signed to the new contract yet. So not only are they going to give it the pieces for him, but they also got him to agree, or they have to be able to agree to get him under $600 million. So because he's not signed. So there's a lot of pieces there now. Baltimore, like you said, probably is the most attractive spot. The only thing Baltimore would have to figure out is, can they afford $600 million?
I mean, theoretically, can anybody afford $600 million?
Yeah. The blue and white pinstripe of the New York Yankees.
Which, I mean, honestly, if you brought in Ohtani, would dispel the need for Stanton at that point. Because really, what do you use Stanton for mostly is DH. Well, now you got Ohtani as a DH.
Stanton would go to the Angels if they traded.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. So Stanton would definitely be a movable piece.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about Shohei Ohtani, I want to bring up his batting average, his pitching shit. He's right now batting at a .302, 36 home runs, 77 RBIs. This is a talk that people have been saying he can actually break Aaron Judge's last year record of home runs. Right now he has a .398 on base percentage with a slugging of a .674. That's just his batting. Pitching, he's at a 3.71 ERA, which, let's be real, he did have some type of jam or something with his thumb or his finger, which is his throwing hand. So that
he had a blister. He had a blister. It's a blister he's been dealing with right now. Yeah.
So that did affect his pitching a little bit, but that's still good ERA numbers for him. He has 8 wins with a total of 148 strikeouts. This man is an absolute gem. realistically, he's an absolute gem. I love Shohei Ohtani. I think he's like literally the best player right now in baseball, and that's even over Aaron Judge. Um, I really want the Yankees to go after him too, but the first person in mind for me is Cody Bellinger. That's the one person that right there has got my eye ever since the Chicago Cubs came to New York, and I got to actually see him play against my team and see what he's done. The man, like Mike, like our boy, my boy Mike Hughes always says, belly bombs. That man was hitting nothing but belly bombs at Yankee Stadium. So if he could do that with the Chicago Cubs, imagine what he could do that with the Yankees like every day on an everyday basis, because we normally do have home games like every day. But man, Shohei Ohtani, let's be realistic. Like, okay, we threw the Baltimore Orioles in there, but what's the other potential teams that can possibly give up some good farm system and probably some draft picks for the Angels? We said, well, you guys said, and Anthony Price said Baltimore Orioles. I wouldn't say Baltimore
Oh,
Orioles.
you know who?
Baltimore.
You know who?
Obviously-
He's a he's a podcaster with ASAP. Reds.
No, Reds don't have any money for a big market player. There's a reason why they sell
They
everybody.
might have the money, but they could pull off the trade though.
But I would look
Belly
at
Bronx Bomber, baby. Belly Bronx Bomber soon.
I would look at the Toronto Blue Jays as a sleeper. I would look at Dodgers, obviously, because the Dodgers would be the one team that not only can they trade for him, but then they can sign him to a $500-600 million contract right away. Just kind of like in the same position as the Yankees are. So like those teams you got to look at.
You don't want to go to a losing scrub team like that.
But I think like if he stays in the AL, I think Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and Toronto, and I think pretty much everybody in the AL East outside of Boston theoretically has a shot to get Shohei in the American League. And if he goes to the National League, I realistically think it's Dodgers or nobody in the National League.
You know what's funny, and I'm going to make you guys laugh? If the Yankees right now, with the record that they got, were in the NL, we would be looking like one of the best teams in baseball.
Here's that like
That's true. You're not bullshitting though.
what I was gonna say before on Shohei too is I find it very hard to give somebody $50 million a year going on his age 31 season where the contract he gets is going to take him into his 40s.
Oh, you're talking about Shohei?
Yeah, but if you break Shohei down though, if you look at what he's done at the plate, 302, 30 plus home runs and almost 80 RBIs already, that's a $30 million player alone just offensively. And then if you look at what he's done on the mound, that's another $20 to $25 million alone if you just put him as a pitcher. So those two combined makes him a $50 million a year player. And realistically,
yeah, because he takes up two spots. He gets the DH and the pitch. But here's the deal, though. Shohei this season he's still looking okay, but he's not looking like Shohei of last year. He's got a damn pedestrian 3.56 ERA. He's like 7-6, 7-7. I mean, he's not looking like that pitcher like we were talking about, right?
If you put him on a team like the Yankees, if you put him on a team like the Dodgers, and you give Shohei the lineups that they have, not only can Shohei win the MVP batting, but he can also win the Cy Young in the same year. He legitimately could win both the Cy Young and the MVP every single year if you put him on a team that can give him consistent run support when he pitches.
Yeah, but when he goes to the Yankees, like you said earlier, they don't have a farm system, so they're going to have to give up players. Stanton gone, LeMahieu most likely gone. Who else? Who else are we looking at over there? Bader gone. IKF gone. What do you got left?
Don't ever say Bader. Bader's not. No, Bader wouldn't go on the market.
No.
Yeah, they're going to have to make it work. They're going to have to make the players and make it work. They don't have anything in their farm system to make it work.
They need to, though.
They have to come off the players.
They would get rid of guys.
Garrett Cole, maybe?
No. They would get rid of guys like Josh Donaldson, Giancarlo Stanton, because both of them are getting older.
Yeah, right. You really think the Angels want Josh Donaldson for Shohei Ohtani? No.
Well, if you really look at it,
at least he's playing. Rendon's not.
Josh Donaldson.
I get that. I agree.
Josh Donaldson's not playing. He's actually injured right now.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody forgot that little issue, but that's okay.
But it's going to be whoever Shohei goes to, unless it's a team that can honestly afford to sign him long-term beyond this year. The Angels are not going to get star players back for him. They're just not. they're more focused on the prospects. And yes, the Yankees may not have a top 10 farm system right now, but the top half of their farm system is very deep and it's very good. And it's also very outfield heavy, which is something the Angels are lacking. That is something they want to get in their farm system is more outfielders, and that's something the Yankees have. So you could easily see Shohei go to the Yankees, have them focus on the Yankees outfield prospects, have them focus on one of the Yankees pitching prospects, and then throw in obviously a guy like Stanton to make up for the offensive loss that Shohei's losing.
Yeah, because that's so much offensive loss. That's so much offensive loss.
But you have to look at it, though.
that
You're getting rid of
Stanton
one big
could
contract
bring
to take
back.
on his contract, though.
Realistically, if the Yankees were to trade for Shohei Ohtani, I see the player possibly the three players that will possibly be going will be Oswald Peraza, Oswaldo Cabrera, two young stars, possibly, and I'll hate to say it, but like if they wanted to add an Anthony Volpe, I'm pretty sure the Yankees will probably throw an Anthony Volpe in there, just for the hell of it to get Shohei. I'm pretty sure they can freaking find someone at shortstop. But that would be dumb on their part. I will hate to see Anthony Volpe go. That's someone that I actually like and I feel like has a bright future in baseball with the Yankees. Like Dustin said, I see a prospect pitcher going, and probably Giancarlo Stanton and maybe even DJ LeMahieu.
I could see. I don't think they would get rid of Volpe. I could see Gleyber. I can see Gleyber Torres going to the Angels. And
We're saving no, sir. We're saving Gleyber Torres for the Cubs. He's going back to Chicago so we can get Cody Belly, Bronx Bomber.
But yeah, if you look at the Yankees farm system, I have a feeling the Angels are going to target Jason Dominguez, who's their top ranked prospect, and obviously he's an outfielder. They also have Spencer Jones and Everson Pereira, who are both outfielders ranked 3 and 4. And then 6 through 9 is all right-handed pitchers. Drew Thorpe, Will Warren, Richard Fist, and your Hendrys Gomez. Like, those are kind of the targets that I look for the Angels to target if Shohei goes to the Yankees, just because it fits what they're looking for. They've never had any consistent pitching, so you know they want to get young pitching. They've always had Mike Trout in center, but left field was Justin Upton, who underachieved for the 6 years he was there. Shohei was in right field as a rookie, but then they moved into DH after he had Tommy John, so they'd never really had another outfielder on the other side of Mike Trout.
That's a lot of prospect farm system right there for the Yankees. I love it. I love it. Jay, I want to ask you quickly before we head out. I know I normally do an hour show, but I like to keep things short and give some time for the afternoon show. Real quickly, what does your team have to do at the trade deadline? What do they have to get? Who they should get? What should you give up? I want to know. And I don't want you to give too much because I understand some of your thoughts on the segment tonight on Unscripted. Trust me, don't give too much, but I want to ask you on this show.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't think it's any mystery what the Astros got to do at the trade deadline, man. It's all about left field for the Astros. It's all about left field. We need one more contact hitter. So we need a left fielder that is a good contact hitter. That's what the Astros need. But because obviously we need to put Alvarez back at the DH spot, get him out of left field, put him back at the DH spot. But Brantley is nowhere near going to be ready to even come back. So I'm looking at Brantley as a wash. So we need a left fielder to come in there and relieve Alvarez of his duties to put him back at the DH. Who that would be? Now that's the $1 million question that would be available. I was really kind of hoping for Benintendi. I thought Benintendi was a great one, but we missed out on that. During the off season, we missed out on Benintendi. So I don't know. I'd have to do more. I still got to do more. That's actually my homework assignment for today before the night show. But I could definitely give you the position. The player I'm not 100% sure on yet, but definitely the position is left field.
Who do you want to go after?
Oh God. That realistically could I go after? I think Benintendi. I think Benintendi went to the Cubs.
No,
if I'm not mistaken,
the White Sox.
The White Sox. I apologize. Well, at least I had the right city. Damn it, it's close enough. Yeah. No, I would, and I think the White Sox would give him up too because the White Sox are horrible this year. So I think Benintendi, we can afford him, which is the biggest thing. Can we afford? Who can we afford to get? Because the Astros they're not big spenders like the Yankees. They're not going to give the big time contracts, right? So we got to figure out who can we afford, who could be available. I think Benintendi. I think he's a good rental until maybe we get Bradley back. But I think Benintendi.
He's on the year one of a 5-year, $85 million deal. He's not a rental.
He would be not necessarily a rental, but he would be an affordable piece that we could bring in. We could bring him in.
Yeah, you can bring him in.
No matter what, Alvarez has to go back and just be a DA. Alvarez is like a poppy. He don't need to play the position. He just needs to be a DH. That's all Alvarez really needs to do is be a DH. And I think Benintendi, because I don't think Brantley, and I think we all know that, I don't think Brantley plays another game of baseball. I think Brantley's shoulder, whatever he's got going on in that shoulder, it's a career ender, and I don't think he ever comes back, to be honest with you. So we need an actual left fielder. So $85 million, okay, I think the Astros, that's an affordable 5 years, $85 million. Yeah, we can fit that in. Either way, I still think Benintendi is the right one to go after.
You should go after Ian Happ.
We could go after Ian Happ. That's a good point.
He just signed a 3-year, $60 million extension. So
3 years, 60, 5 year, 85. I'd rather have the 5 year, 85. I'd rather have a little bit more, a couple of more years on that.
You got to look at Happ's 27, Benintendi's 32. Happ's a switch.
And where's Happ?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And Happ's a switch hitter.
Happ's with the Mets, right?
No, Happ's on the Cubs. He's the Cubs left fielder.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, Mike Hughes wouldn't be happy with that.
And
he's already going to lose Belly Bombs. He don't want to
get his name right. Is Belly Bronx Bomber?
Hey, look, he don't want to lose Hap too, man. That would crush Mike. That would crush his soul. But yeah, no, but you're right. You're not wrong.
Dustin,
you're not wrong with that.
Tell me who should Chicago Cubs trade for?
As long as they don't go into fire sale mode again, I'm kind of okay with what they do. Whether they stand pat, whether they add maybe a couple minor pieces this year that could maybe help them next year also, depending on who they get, or if they trade a couple pieces away. As long as they don't go into fire sale mode, I'm okay with it. Obviously, I want to keep Cody Bellinger and try to extend him beyond this year, but I think they're going to get a package from somebody that's just too good to pass up to hold on to him. So I do see Bellinger going away. But the one player that I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the one player that I want them to trade is actually Marcus Stroman. And the reason why I say that is Marcus Stroman is having the best year of his entire career this year. He's 32 right now. He's going to be 33 this upcoming offseason. He's looking for a long-term deal. If he wants to come back to Chicago next year and sign a 4 or 5 year contract, so be it. But with the year that he's had right now, you're never going to get a trade package as good as what you're going to get for him right now. You have to capitalize on that. You have to package him away this year to get what you can get for him, because you still have guys like Justin Steele in your rotation. You still have Hayden Wisniewski, who's back in AAA right now, who you can call back up. Hendricks has looked really good since coming back from the IL, so you still have him. And then you have Jameson Taillon and Drew Smyly at the back of your rotation, which those two kind of at this point are having a lost season anyways. But you still have guys that you can replace Marcus Stroman with for this year. And when you have a guy who's having a career year right now and in the final year of his contract, you have to capitalize on that potential to try to get the maximum return possible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, because at 32 years of age, you're either signing them long term or you need to get the most you can. But I think this is a pivotal year, like you said, for him because of the year he's having.
Because he's a 500 pitcher. I think he's 79 and 76 for his major league career. So he's basically a 500 pitcher with a 3.46 ERA, which it's not terrible, but it's obviously not a number one starter type of guy. And this year he's sitting at 10-6 right now with an ERA right around a 3. So he's having one of his better year ever. I mean, even that is still not a number one starter numbers. If you look at Justin Steele's 10-3 with a 2.6. Obviously,
Yeah, if you get an ERA around 3, you're probably sitting around 3rd or 4th in the rotation.
So obviously Justin Steele's kind of shown that he's the ace of that staff with the year he's having. But even at number 2, Marcus Stroman's having a solid season for a number 2 starter. But like I said, if he's having the year that he's having, get rid of him now and try to get what you can get, because let's just say you hang on to him and then all of a sudden he's like, well, I have this 30-year player option that I want to exercise with you guys next year. And all of a sudden now next year he's sitting at 5-8 with a 4.72 ERA. You kind of missed your chance to deal him when you had a high stock on him.
It reminds me of a Luis Castillo from last year.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It reminds me of that because he went to the Seattle Mariners. He was good and even into the playoffs. And then this year he's just terrible. And I feel like that can happen, and it can be on the good side for the Chicago Cubs.
And you saw that back in 2017 when the Cubs traded for Quintana. Quintana was off to the best start of his career when the White Sox traded him over Chicago. He goes 6-2 with like a 2.40 ERA once the Cubs got him, but then after that he did nothing. And the Cubs ended up signing him to like a 4-year, $52 or $53 million extension after the 2 months that they had him.
All day, baby. All day.
I feel that the Yankees need to go after, like I said, Cody Bellinger. He's an outfielder. We need an outfielder. Shohei Ohtani. If he's on the market, we need Shohei because he could give us both pitching and both hitting. And then Juan Soto, if he's available. But there's a lot of teams that are potentially looking at Juan Soto right now, so I'm not putting my high hopes up right now for Juan Soto. I'd rather go get Cody Bellinger, someone who has actually been on fire as of late, and is a good outfielder, or Shohei Ohtani. Literally, give up what you got to give to get something better, especially when you're on the win now mode. And I feel like that's what the Yankees are in right now. They're in a win now mode. This is a team that literally hasn't won a World Series since 2009, and this is like one of the longest droughts that I've ever actually witnessed for the Yankees. So I think they're in a win now mode. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, Yankees and Mets tonight for the Subway Series. Also catch the Houston Astros going up against the Texas Rangers for actually a personal divisional change right there. If the Astros can do what they got to do, and also the Chicago Cubs. I don't know who they play. Who did the Chicago Cubs play today?
White Sox.
Oh, so we each playing people in our own state. Ooh, Chicago versus Chicago, New York versus New York. You got Texas versus Houston. What the hell?
He said North versus South, baby. North versus South.
That's
Let's go.
Crazy. We each playing our redheaded stepchildren. So look at that. You got Cubs versus White Sox, New York versus New York, and Texas versus Houston. 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Only on the Yes channel and Yes Network. Mets favored, like I said, Mets favored by 52.1% chance. Yankees 47.9%. Justin Verlander on the mound going up against Domingo Germán, 5-6. Justin Verlander 4-5. I can't wait for this game. This is very important to me. I love Subway Series. Go ahead, Jay.
I just got one question. I'm not too concerned about your Mets and Yankees, crosstown subways, whatever. I don't care about that. What I care about is you. You're my brother. I'm the uncle to your babies. Can our relationship handle what's going down next week? Can we handle? Are we mature enough as people to handle what's about to go down? Can you smell what the Rock is cooking? Frankie, can we handle it? Are we good, Frankie? Can we handle it? Do you think we can? Do we need like mediation? Like what do we got to do for this? Because it's coming. The storm is coming, Frankie. Can me and you, as brothers, can we weather the storm, go after each other's throats, and then be okay? Because we're gonna be like two roosters with knives. Can we come out of that, Frankie? Can we come out of it? Okay.
No.
Frankie, I got a question for you. You said that you wanted an outfielder, right?
Yep.
Let's just say the Cubs decide they want to hold on to Bellinger. Would you be okay with taking Ian Happ?
I'll be okay with taking Ian Happ, but I feel like you just want to keep Bellinger because of what he's been doing. You can't do that, sir.
No, I actually wanted when the Cubs signed Bellinger to the 1-year deal. I actually wanted him on a multi-year deal. I didn't want him straight for 1 year because my thought was, you're taking a low risk on him right now because of the last 2 years that he's had. But all of a sudden, what happens if he gets back into his MVP form and you only sign him for a 1-year deal? You're kind of screwing yourself versus if you could have signed him for 2 years. Okay, well, he's doing what he's doing now, but then you still have him 1 more year to see if he can duplicate that. Or if this was more of a prove it that I can still do it type of situation where the moment he gets to a new team and signs a new contract, he kind of goes back to what he did those last couple of years with the Dodgers. I didn't want him for like a 4 or 5 year deal. I wanted the Cubs to try to get him for like 2 years at $40 million just to see if he could rediscover what he had, and then to see if it was a fluke once he rediscovered it, or if it was just like that change of scenery that kind of needed him to kind of get back into his old form.
Right.
But yeah, Ian Happ, I'm kind of sick of Ian Happ at this point, mainly because, yes, he's second in the major league in walks behind Juan Soto, which, okay, you're getting on base, which is good. But you were signed to an extension because you were a 25, 30 home run guy, and last year you had 15 home runs, and right now you have 8. So you're taking more walks, but your power is taking a significant hit because of it. And with guys like Pete Crow Armstrong and Kevin Alcantara, who the Yankees gave us a couple of years ago, waiting in the wings in the minors, Ian Happ can go and open up the door for one of those guys to kind of slide in the short future.
Well, damn, Dustin, after you just told me that, I don't want somebody on the Yankees with a home run of.
You gotta look at the difference.
No. I'm trying to change it now. No, you're trying
Yeah.
to.
No, you gotta look at the difference.
That just plays outfield. I want someone that doesn't only play outfield. I want someone who can bat, who can hit, and who can give me some runs. And that man's name is Cody Bellinger, Bronx Bomber, baby.
Yeah, you gotta look at the difference though. Wrigley Field is the longest ballpark in baseball down the lines. Yankee Stadium is the second shortest, and there's been numerous occasions this year where Ian Happ has hit a ball to the warning track that just ends up short because of the wind at Wrigley Field. Those balls that are ending up at the warning track at Wrigley are going to be 5, 6, 7 rows deep at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. When the Cubs came to New York and played before the All-Star break, did Ian Happ get at least 1 home run?
He didn't have 1 home run, but he had 7 hits.
Exactly. So if he didn't do it when he came to New York, while wearing a Cubs uniform, what makes you think he's going to do it in a pinstripe?
He got on base. He got on base 11 times.
I don't want that. I want Cody Bellinger. Don't try and do that to me, Dustin. You're trying, and it's not going to work. All right? It's not.
Don't take Cody Bellinger from me. Just let me enjoy it.
Jay, you can take Ian Happ. You need somebody in the outfield. You can take Ian Happ, Jay.
I love it, man. It's like you go to a wedding, and instead of the bride, they trying to sell you the freaking maid of honor. What a time to be alive.
Cody Bellinger from me.
He's trying to make me take Ian Happ. He doesn't even got 10 home runs. He didn't get a home run in New York when he was with the Cubs.
It's like, let me take Ian Happ. I'll redress him. I'll make him look pretty. I'll spit shot his head a little bit, make sure he's got some hairspray, and then I'm going to sell it to you.
Come on, we gave you Anthony Rizzo a couple years ago. You gave us Hayden Wisniewski. We gave you Scott Efros. You gave us Kevin Alcantara. Please just don't take my Cody Bellinger. We gave you, just be nice to us one time.
Hey, Dustin said, take Ian Happ, squint your eyes real good like this, and you can make it look like.
No, let me keep Cody Bellinger for the rest of this season. Then Frankie, you can take him next year, and you don't have to give us anything for him. You can just sign him to a nice 5 or 6 year deal next year, and just let us keep him this year. That's all I ask. Let me keep him this year and enjoy.
What's Cody Bellinger going to do for you, even if you did keep him this year? What's he really going to do for the guy? Are you going anywhere, Dustin? You're not going anywhere. So what does it really matter? Honestly, at the end of the day, for your franchise, let's just be honest and realistic. What the hell does it matter? You're not going anywhere, so what does it matter?
The next 6 games are what matters. If the Cubs continue to at least keep themselves in striking distance of that.
Do you listen to yourself? Do you hear yourself saying that? If we just keep ourselves,
they're not going to win.
That's not even close to being a World Series champion.
It doesn't have to be
that. Matter.
It doesn't have to.
You know what you got to say. You know what you got to say, Dustin. You got to say this. I want Cody Bellinger on the Yankees because not for the next 6 games. I want Cody Bellinger on the Yankees for the next 3 months. All right. I want a World Series, damn it, and I know he can help us bring it.
Yeah, Jay, what you were saying though, like, I'm not saying the Cubs are going to win the division because they're not going to win the division. But if you look at the National League right now, the Cincinnati Reds are the team that's leading the wild card, followed by the Arizona Diamondbacks. So the Cubs are still like right with the Reds. They're still right with the Diamondbacks. And once you make the playoffs, we've seen that anything can happen in the playoffs. And if you have a guy like Cody Bellinger that has the playoff experience, that has the World Series experience, and that is known for having big moments in the playoffs, that's a guy that you want on your team for a playoff push. So it might not get him a ring this year, but at least if it can get you in a position where you can remain in that playoff hunt all year, now you're looking at a different situation when the offseason comes next year. Now you're looking at, do we actually have to get rid of Bellinger, or can we sign him long term? Do we actually have to get rid of some of these guys that we wanted to trade away this year, or can we keep them to a longer term deal while still having the prospects that we have to kind of call them up when they're ready?
Off topic. The wife just walked past me in what looked like a kimono, straight to the freezer, shook the vodka bottle, looked at me and did this number. Man, I'm sorry, I can't. That's just kind of funny. I was like, "What are you, freaking Japanese? What are you doing?" What a time to be alive. I apologize.
Anyway. Cody Bellinger to the Yankees. We'll talk more throughout the week about the trade deadline. It is coming up August 1st, I believe, right?
Yeah,
next Tuesday,
August 1st. Literally next week. And by the way, they were already saying it when Ohtani hit that home run the other day. That was his last home appearance before the deadline. And they're like, was that literally like the last home run from Ohtani in an Angels uniform? Who knows? Maybe.
You never know. We'll talk more on Ohtani throughout the week, more on the trade deadline. You can catch me tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time for another episode of Frankie the Yankee Show, where I'll be talking about recap from tonight's game in the Subway Series, and also, bring you up to tomorrow's game two, our last game of the season against the Mets. So catch us there. And we already played Dustin earlier in the show. You said later on, you even the series up or whatever. That already happened. We already evened the series up with them in Queens way before the All-Star break. And we actually had to go up against both Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander. So it's real funny that tonight we have to go up against Justin Verlander. We won against the game against the Mets when they had Max Scherzer, and we lost when they had Justin Verlander. It was Justin Verlander versus Garrett Cole. That was one of the greatest freaking nights. I swear to God, it was good pitching that night.
Wasn't there like a 3-2?
Hey, I gotta ask a question. If Scherzer went up against Herman in a series in a game, would that be battle of sticky substances?
Yeah, that was the game. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're gonna say that about Domingo, you can say the same thing about Max.
No. That's my point. No, that's what I'm saying. If Scherzer and Domingo went up again, they were both suspended for sticky substances. Would the game be called the Battle of the Sticky Substances? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, probably.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, but since then, Domingo Herman had a perfect game. Did anybody
He
in the
did.
Nationals did?
He did. You can't take that away from him. I literally was there with you, telling you, Frankie, shut up. Frankie, if you talk about it, you're gonna ruin it. So just be quiet, watch it in amazement, and then we'll talk after. And it took a little while because you weren't trying to hear that at the beginning. But I think the second time I said it, you're like, yeah, Jay, let me just shut the fuck up. And we watched it, and then we blew up afterwards, and it was crazy to watch. I think that was honestly the first perfect game in my life that I've seen a lot of no hitters. That was the first perfect game, and even though I hate the Yankees, it was still a great thing to watch. It was a great thing to watch.
Yeah, he was the first Yankee since 1999, and he's the last player to do it was back in 2000. I think it was 2012. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 2 of Frankie the Yankee Show. I want to thank Jay McLovin and Stag Guy for stopping in and talking some Houston Astros, some Chicago Cubs, and a little bit of Yankees with me. I'm glad we touched up on some of Ohtani and where we think he might end up, and also some of the trade deadlines on what we think our team would be. Catch me tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time. I think I have one more comment here with this guy. Oh my God! Listen, this is a baseball show. It's baseball. Damn it. Anyway, catch me tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Like I said, we're gonna recap on the Yankees Mets series. Um, those questions that you guys want to ask, please come by tonight on Unscripted at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Ask us then. I guarantee you, we will give you your 100% answers that you guys want. It'll be myself, Jay McLovin, Logan Landers, and I'm pretty sure we have two other people coming on as well. You have to wait and see. But yeah, catch me tomorrow. Later, guys.